So bear with me. So we'll go ahead and get my other YouTube stream going and then we'll start the show off. So give me about a minute or so to get the programming up and we'll start momentarily. So Trump's new wars. You're gonna wonder why the hell would I say something like that. But I want to run this one by you because I it's starting to look more and more like there could be uh, military conflict at the behest of President Trump. And I'll explain it to you the moment I get the live stream going. I hate when these things are real slow in the beginning. All right, so let me see if I can get this in here real quick. And we should be able to get to the broadcast here. All right. Okay. Uh, I wish there was a way we could have this already go when I started because I hate the dead air, even if it's only for a minute or so. I hate having dead air like what we're doing right now when there's no program in session. So I do appreciate you folks that are already in here. Less than a minute, we should be up and running. But you do see the stream is titled Trump's New Wars. And I want to get from you folks if you think what I'm suggesting is total bullshit, we'll certainly talk about that. But I believe this may be something worth noting. Okay, so I believe we have our YouTube stream going. So we'll go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Real quick for you guys on YouTube, just want to give you this while my other TikTok and Instagram users are filtering in. If you're ever watching me on YouTube and you wonder why the hell his eyes look like that, because I have multiple monitors and TikTok is actually centered. Right now I'm looking at TikTok. So if you're looking at me on YouTube, you're over on this side of me. And for some reason, when I'm not looking directly at the camera, my eyes look like they're all over the fucking place. So if you ever wondered while you're watching the program why I seem to have all kinds of eye issues, that's what's happening. Anyway, we're going to talk about, for now that everybody's on, we're going to talk about the possibility of war under Trump. You see, I have the live stream titled Trump's New Wars, and that may sound ridiculous to some, but I'm going to give you clips as I always do to illustrate the point that I'm trying to make because me and, yours truly, and I'm assuming many others may be starting to wonder if it's possible that we could end up having a military conflict under President Trump simply because of some of the things that he is saying, some of the stuff that he is saying. So I'll go ahead and give you what I'm talking about. And I think you're going to know it revolves around Greenland, Panama, Canada, potentially Mexico. We'll talk about Mexico as a smaller entity, but Panama, Greenland, and Canada are ripe for discussion, mainly because of what President Trump has been saying. I'll give you first the lighter one. This is President Trump in regards to the nation of Canada. I'll go ahead and cue this one up. He said this one. All of these clips I'm about to play for you are less than a week old. I think some of these are maybe 24 hours, 48 hours old. So for many folks who may think, listen, he was joking about Canada. He was joking about Greenland. He was joking about the Panama Canal. Now if that's the case, he's still telling jokes about this stuff. He is still readily speaking on it. So this isn't something he may have referred to in the beginning of his presidency, and he's kind of backed off of it. No, he's still actively discussing this stuff.
First state, you wouldn't have to worry about borders. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. And by the way, Canada is very highly taxed, and we're very low tax. We're considered a low tax nation because of me, because I cut the taxes so low. So the people of Canada would pay much less tax. It makes a lot of sense. And by the way, when you take away that artificial line that looks like it was done with a ruler, and that's what it was. Some guy.
Now listen to that. When he said, okay, you know, obviously the I don't know how many, what is it, a couple thousand miles, the border that America has with Canada that spans all the way from, you know, right above Seattle to all the way over to the New England area. Listen to how he describes the border we have with Canada.
That looks like it was done with a ruler, and that's much less tax. It makes a lot of sense. And by the way, when you take away that artificial line that looks like it was done with a ruler, and that's what it was. Some guy sat there years ago and they said, rah. Well, when you take away that and you look at that beautiful formation of Canada and the United States, there is no place anywhere in the world that looks like that. It's so good.
Now, by the way, that according to Trudeau, who's the Prime Minister of Canada until up to last week, he stated that Trump has indicated, because that line came, I think, in the early 1900s. There's a treaty that caused that line to be developed. And apparently Trump is on record as saying he doesn't know if that treaty is valid. So the border between Canada and the United States, Trump is apparently on record of saying he doesn't know if it's valid. Now, obviously, Canada is a sovereign country, just like the United States is. You know, they have everything like their own flag. They have their own national anthem. You name it. They are a sovereign nation. But in regards to them being a sovereign nation, President Trump, once again, he basically says something that many might find hilarious. I'll see if I can find this clip that should have been queued up already. Okay, and I don't know what the audio is here, but I want you to hear what he had to say about the Canadian national anthem.
As a great and cherished state, keeping "O Canada," the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it. But it'll be for the state, one of our greatest states, maybe our greatest state. It's so perfect. As a great and cherished state, keeping "O Canada," the national anthem. I love it. I think it's great. Keep it.
So he's giving them at least permission to keep their national anthem. Wow. So that is President Trump on Canada. Remember, I promised you 3 of these now. That is Trump's stance towards Canada. We're going to talk about Panama. We're going to talk about Greenland as well. All of this just happened in like the last 3 days, 2-3 days. So for folks who think he's not talking about taking these places, no, he's still doing it actively. Real quick in the comments, would he need 2 to 3 congressional votes? Honestly, I don't know anymore, because Congress is not getting in the way of President Trump doing anything. Birthright citizenship is in the Constitution. Trump has no problem going around that. Even the fact that we're on TikTok talking to each other, that was supposed to be approved by Congress. Congress voted for TikTok to be cast out. Trump brought it back. So he essentially went around Congress. There was no official vote by Congress to do this. Trump just said TikTok's coming back, and boom, here we are. So when you say, do we need 2/3 vote, 2/3 congressional votes, I don't think Trump really cares. I think it's kind of, you ever heard of the phrase, it's better to just do something and then ask for forgiveness as opposed to asking for permission? He's just doing what he wants to do, and if you don't like it, you can take me to court. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. Same thing with all of the federal firings. There's a procedure in which you have to terminate somebody. You have to terminate them for cause, whether it is performance, attendance, whatever. They're just firing people. You can take us to court and deal with it if you want, but they're just doing it. So as Nike would say, just do it. So when you say, do we need 2/3 congressional vote? When it comes to Trump, I don't think he would even wait that long. And then we'll have to depend on Congress or the powers to be to just stop him, but we'll see. And in continuing on, Will G, the traditional Trump ain't shit. Will G says Trump ain't shit. If we don't need anything Canada had, why are we, okay, if we don't need anything that Canada has, why are we trying to make them a state? Leave them the fuck alone, says Will G. A lot of folks are saying that, leave Canada alone. But let's be honest. If Trump somehow, some way was to make Canada the 51st state, that would make America a more powerful country. That would lead Trump to having a legacy of having expanded the size of the United States. Now, that could come by way of Greenland or the Panama Canal as well. It does seem like Trump is trying to expand the size of the country. Now, in addition to Canada, we talked about making a 51st state. I do want you to hear what's going on. This is, like I said, all of this stuff is from the last few days. So none of this is very old. People's talking about he's only joking. He is still doing this. He's still saying this stuff. Here he is, Trump on Greenland.
Make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon.
Or Panama Canal.
It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Now, that's not, he didn't say he was thinking about it or trying to do it. He said, we're going to do it, and we've already began. So I'll give you a quick clip of that again.
Very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Now responding to the...
Now, and of course, Panama Canal responded. This is from a news clip. I didn't hear this part. I'd be curious to hear, because he's talking about how Panama responded.
Now responding to the report of a possible U.S. military takeover of the canal, Panama's government said it would defend its sovereignty. Meanwhile, Panama's President Jose Raul Molina said President Trump was lying about reclaiming the Panama Canal. However...
Yeah, that's the same thing Zelensky said when we told him that Russia was about to attack them. Zelensky didn't believe it either, but that's Trump on the Panama Canal. And this clip is only, I think, 3 days old. Now, in addition to Trump on the Panama Canal, of course, there is, last but not least, Greenland. Greenland is also in the news. I mean, it's, like I said, Trump is still saying this stuff, so it's hard to deny that he doesn't mean it.
One big icebreaker, but that whole area is becoming very important, and for a lot of reasons, the routes are, very direct to Asia, to Russia, and you have ships all over the place, and we have to have protection. So we're going to have to make a deal on that, and Denmark is not able to do that. Denmark's very far away and really has nothing to do. What happens? A boat landed there 200 years ago or something, and they say they have rights to it. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is, actually.
So now Denmark is known to have rights to Greenland. Now you hear him saying that he doesn't even know if that's accurate. So I guess if he doesn't think it's accurate, then he doesn't have to honor it. But this is continuing on in regards to Greenland.
They say they have rights to it. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is, actually. But we've been dealing with Denmark, we've been dealing with Greenland, and we have to do it. We really need it for national security. I think that's why NATO might have to get involved in a way, because...
And I'll stop that. I believe this was yesterday. This is Trump talking about taking Greenland yesterday. So Greenland, the Panama Canal, and of course, Canada, all stated within 48 hours or so. So I want to ask you folks, that's going to be the primary topic of the day, is do you see the possibility of Trump getting us involved in a military conflict, at least in one of these locations, if not somewhere else abroad? Because dealing with the cartels in Mexico and deeming them as a terrorist outfit also gives us the legal right. Now that they've been deemed as a terrorist outfit, referring to the cartels, you can now strike them within the sovereign nation of Mexico. So like I said, Mexico might be a side topic, but Greenland, Canada, and Panama, he's on record saying that he's going to, he wants to do things to those countries. Take them over, take over the Panama Canal, take over Greenland, annex Canada. He's on record saying he wants all three of those. Do you believe Trump will expand the size of the United States? Do you believe Trump will get us into some sort of military conflict? That's what we're talking about. Also, by the way, before I continue on, this is a free forum Friday. So we're taking questions. What if you have a political question of any type in terms of politics, today's the day to get it out there. Hopefully we can make this show a little bit more entertaining, and maybe you guys can point out where you think I'm getting things wrong, or you think or things you favor. changes. We want to make the program entertaining. So this is a free forum Friday as well. So looking straight in the comments, yeah, big dog. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you. Looking straight to the box, rather, is what I want to say. Gangsta grandma. Good evening, gangsta. So what do you think? You think Trump is trying to potentially put us into harm's way, a military conflict?
He probably will. He probably will. Because he's too special to comprehend. Like he's like a manic. He's bipolar. You know what I mean? You know he wants to be a Putin. So he wants to take people's shit. Greenland ain't for sale. Canada surely the hell ain't for sale.
So you said you think Trump is bipolar. So I mean, because I was under the impression
he's he's sundowning, man. He's doing everything. And then a poor Sleepy Joe. You feel I want Sleepy Joe back. My God, we were safer under Sleepy Joe.
You want another 4 years out of 82-year-old Biden?
Hell yeah. He did more for us than this fucking ragatooly ass. What the fuck? Name me one thing this motherfucker did for us. Not a damn thing. What? He's going to put us into war. He's trying to be a Putin. What? Tariffs is going up the ass.
Is he not cutting billions in waste, fraud, and abuse?
Oh, if you really believe that I could sell you a beach in New Mexico.
I don't think there's any beaches in New Mexico. So, okay, he's not cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in your opinion.
No, he's not. He's giving it to his little bitch.
Well, who would that be?
Elon Musk, his little bitch.
Elon Musk already has all the money in the world. You telling me he wants more?
He's giving it to billionaires. He's taking from us and giving it to him. And now we're going to fix and find out because we got some 10 little fucked up Democrats that didn't have the balls to go to shut us down. And now we're going to find out.
Did you really? Hold on. You're criticizing those 10 Democrats that voted to keep the government open. Did you really want the government to come to a halt?
Yeah, they're going to fuck us. They're going to fuck us no matter what. So we needed to stand up and say, no, you're not going to take Medicaid from our vets or Medicaid from the kids. You're not going to take SNAP from hungry-ass kids. And then they're taking $1 billion away from the kids for free lunch programs.
Do you think?
They're already doing that.
Well, I mean, could that be stopped at the state level? I mean, obviously, Trump, they're not big on entitlements.
States are broke. Huh? And guess who they're going to depend on? The red states are broke. And guess who they're going to depend on? Our blue states. And I want to say, fuck no. Feed your own damn kids. You voted for this trick? Feed them.
Did you refer to, wait a minute, the man is in the Oval Office. He's our commander-in-chief. He's president of the United States. Did you refer to him as a trick?
Are you fluffing?
Did you call him?
Stop fluffing already?
Did you call him a trick?
He is a trick. He's Elon's trick.
Define trick.
You don't know what a trick is?
I do, and I'm afraid. That's why I'm asking you. Do you know what a trick is?
I don't want to get banana, but he's a trick. When I know what trick is, Pookie. Yeah. Come on. I know what trick it is, and he sure ain't got it, and he's tricking on Elon, and Elon's sucking it hard.
Oh, come on. You really being disrespectful to these. This is the president of the United States.
Okay, now let me tell you, I ain't fluffing like you. I'm keeping it G with you. I don't give a fuck.
But have you no respect for the office, Grace the Grandma?
You him? Okay, does he have respect for anybody else? Fuck no. If he had respect, he wouldn't take from our veterans. If he had respect, he wouldn't take from kids that need food. And take it from the poor kids that need food for school.
You make the man sound evil.
He is evil. He's a YT man. He's part of the KKK.
Wait. I say you make the man sound evil. You says he's a white man. Are you suggesting that all white people are evil? All white men are evil?
Did I say that?
That's what it sounds like.
He is the burnt. He is. Not all. I'm not saying all. He doesn't even like the poor white people.
That's who
he only likes the rich man.
That's where his votes came from.
Well, and that's how, as they say, like Drake said, hey Trump, you like him dumb? He likes them doom.
You,
The education system failed these little mofos. They failed them. If he told them that he's going to drop the egg prices, the gas prices, and if the gas prices do go down, that means we're in a recession, and that's not a good damn thing. That means they're going to start shutting down the refineries. So no, that's not a good thing if the gas prices go down like that.
it's interesting you would say that because I am hearing reports that both gas and the price of eggs are coming down.
No, see, let me tell you about the egg prices. See, this is how slow these mofos are. So they go and they read a chart, okay? But in that chart, it's not telling you how much the egg prices are by carton. It's telling you by bulk.
Okay.
Okay?
But they're still going. But they're still going down.
I went to the store today, Pookie, and my eggs are $10 a 12-pack. Okay?
How did I get the name? How did I get the name Pookie? Where did that come from?
Because you're a Pookie and a Ray and a Fluffy. Because you show is giving these clowns show a lot of space to talk that yang and they can't back up nothing.
Who are the clowns? Are you suggesting that anybody that voted for Trump just automatically becomes a clown?
Yep, you walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, you a duck.
That can't be.
Let me tell you, half these mofos did not vote for her is because she was black, she was a woman, and you know how the IQ is? They couldn't comprehend what she was saying. Because you know why? Because they have 5th grade fucking reading level and comprehension of a 5th grader. And that's sad. That's sad.
No intelligent, college-educated MAGA, huh?
No, give me one, please. You can't get one. You can't get one.
There's tons of MAGA that are college-educated and intelligent. That's kind of insulting. That's kind of insulting, gangster grandma.
What?
That's insulting. You're
I
suggesting.
don't give a fuck. There's something to look at. There's something to look at. TikTok, when you see them in the thing, they say make America great win. There's something to look at. That you know what they do? They didn't need to go and kick their asses out and go make them a little island. Yeah.
Well, when you mention the phrase "Make America Great Again," what indeed is wrong with making the country great again? I mean, what would be wrong with that?
Okay, you're a black man. You're asking me that. When was America great for me or for us? When was America great? Please tell me.
Okay.
We had Jim Crow.
We've had a rough go at it, but you know what he's talking about.
No, I don't. Make white again. White tea again. When? He's trying to censor everything. He wants to be a Putin, and they stuck on him too. Man, his jaws must be like hurting because I'm jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Have you not? I mean, listen. If the guy ends up correcting our unfair trade agreements, you don't give him credit for anything.
Let me tell you about unfair. We don't have unfair trade agreements. What the fuck are people talking about? My God, dude. Oh my God.
You know, wait a minute. He even asked Angela Merkel when she used to be the prime minister of Germany, how many Chevys are on the street of Germany? She had an answer of 0. There are German cars all over America. You know
why? You know why they can't really have our cars over there? Have you guys ever been to Germany?
No.
They have the Autobahn.
Okay.
They don't make cars for the Autobahn over there. I mean, you think a Chevy is going to hit the Autobahn?
Yes, a Chevy can drive on the Autobahn.
No, honey, I don't think so.
Why can't a Chevy? Why can't a Chevy?
They don't really go. A Chevy like a pop boom boom. Like a shitty bang bang for over there.
You do realize people who drive on the Autobahn do not all drive 200 miles an hour,
you
right?
have to on the Autobahn. What are you talking about, Willis? You can't go 50 on the Autobahn. Have you ever been there? Oh my God, I've been there, and you can't. You got to be a Speedy Gonzalez, honey. You can't go shitty boom boom 50 miles an hour on the Autobahn.
So if you're,
that's what they made them for.
So if you're on the Autobahn, you're telling me there's a minimum speed of how much?
What did you say, love?
You're telling me that if a car is on the Autobahn, there is a minimum speed of how much?
I think it's like 85 to 100, honestly. Wow. It's up there. It's way up there. It's way up there. And who the fuck wants a shitty bang bang in Germany? Hell, you know what? I forgot what a country it is today. Just said that they're not going to buy planes so much no more because of Trumpy.
Yeah, the terrorists are causing people to react. I get it. And I see in the comments, Charles Vaughn, and thank you for the sub, Charles. Charles says the minimum speed is 60 miles an hour. Are you sure you're correct?
That's not what I said. That's how, when I was on it, and my friend took me on it, it was set 85. So I don't know.
Okay, well I can't.
Not back in the day though. I'm old as hell.
You're gonna tell me a Chevy? You're gonna tell me a Chevy is incapable of doing 85 miles an hour?
Who the fuck wants a Chevy, anyways?
All right, Grandma.
I'm just saying. At the end of the day, we're fucked. Okay? You know, we're fucked. At the end of the damn day, black, white, green, whatever, we're fucked. And half the population didn't vote for this shit, and we have to FOFA with everybody that did. The red states are going to get the hurt the worst. And the people that didn't vote for in the red states are going to get it. And I feel bad for them, because they truly don't give a fuck about your kids. Because if they take your Medicaid and shit away, and they take the fucking shit for the vets, it's screwed. It is. It's screwed. No matter what.
You got it.
And I'm being dead ass. There's no jokes aside. People are screwed because it's given to the billionaires, and motherfuckers don't wake up because motherfuckers believe what the little shit bang bang is. If you look at the bills, there's not one thing that they wanted for them. Not one. Not one. For what? What did they vote for?
Hold on. You do realize the guy's only been in office for like 7 weeks, right?
He fucked up the whole damn economy in 7 weeks.
It ain't
the stock prices are down. Our 401ks are shitting right now. They're bleeding right now because of what?
You make it sound like what he's doing is unrecoverable.
Oh, okay. You know what? Go stay fluffing. Go stay fluffing. Go stay fluffing. You ain't no damn Democrat, because you know. Go stay fluffing with that white chick over there.
I gotta go. Appreciate you coming on.
I'm telling the damn truth.
I gotta go. I'll catch you. I'm not
fluffing.
I'll catch you on the next one. That is gangsta grandma, folks. She never lays up on me. She tears me apart. Am I fluffing to suggest that Trump's only been in office for 7 weeks? Is that really fluffy? That's pretty harsh. Stick the ruler. Appreciate the sub. Thank you. Says that's because the Republican-led Congress has knee pads for diaper Don. And he follows it up by saying Trump ain't shit. MAGA ain't shit. Wow. But Will, you're correct. You say that's because the Republican-led Congress has knee pads on for diaper Don. I don't want to go down the road of knee pads, but I do believe that the Republican-led Congress is not going to resist anything that Trump is doing. I don't. Have you really heard from Congress other than the liberal members of Congress and what you've seen on TV that's happening at various town halls? Other than that, do you really even hear from them? And generally, when you do, they're defending Trump. So yeah, the Republican members of Congress are essentially treating Trump as if everything he's doing is perfect. I haven't heard them really act critical of Trump on anything. And you do have courts deeming a lot of stuff that Trump is doing is unconstitutional, which means it's illegal. And you still don't hear the right-wing members of Congress saying anything. Did you hear the news that Chicago police shielded a Tesla show? What does that say? Shielded a Tesla showroom. That lets you know the police today are just like the days of old, protect the rich and patrol the slaves. Well, I don't know if I go that far. Make no mistake about it. And thank you for the super chat there, Will. Appreciate the support. They're vandalizing Teslas everywhere. They are vandalizing Teslas everywhere. We all know why. There's no denying that. Any politician that gets involved in politics, you are at risk of polarizing a large portion of the country. You can ask the Dixie Chicks, you can ask Taylor Swift, you can ask Bud Light about that. And Elon Musk is far more involved in politics than Taylor, Dixie Chicks, or even Bud Light, or Colin Kaepernick, if you want to add him in there. Elon Musk is way more polarizing than any of those characters. So as a result, people are having their Teslas vandalized all over the country. So if you're suggesting that Chicago shielded a Tesla showroom, I mean, if you expect people to come in there and vandalize and tear up property, that's kind of what the police are supposed to do, isn't it? I mean, if you expect there's going to be a hit on an area And in a city like Chicago, they would definitely feel liberated to go after a few Teslas. So I'm not going to hate on the police for doing that. I mean, you can kind of predict that citizens may go after a whole showroom full of Teslas right now with what Elon Musk has done. You know what I'm expecting that I have not seen yet, and I'm surprised? Remember the old 1990s phrase, going postal? I'm really expecting somebody in the federal government to do that because they're firing so many people, getting rid of people's livelihoods and all of that. And they're not doing it based on merit or performance. They're just firing people at random. So just one really disgruntled person. I read an article that said mental illness is on a decline among federal employees because they're going to work every day not knowing if it's their last day. I mean, I don't care if you are in the CIA or if you're just simply working for the post office. Everybody that works in the federal government, to some degree or another, their job is at risk. So I can certainly see where it may have people really on a mental decline. You can't really live your life. I mean, maybe you're thinking of upgrading your apartment, going on vacation, or taking a cruise, or enrolling your child in college. You can't do any of that if you're not certain your income is going to be stable. So, yeah, I can certainly see where they may be. The morale in the federal government has got to be an all-time low. Looking in the comments, Will says, you really think a German is self-centered as some of them are going to take a General Motors or Ford, Chrysler over a Benz or BMW in their country? Depends on how it's priced. If you can get Americans to buy Daihatsus and some of that shit that came over here, yeah, you can get some Germans that can barely afford to purchase a vehicle. It depends on how much it's priced for. We had cars come to this country. You remember the old Datsuns and all of that stuff? That stuff started out super cheap. If you could sell it to them at a cheap price, or if you could sell them something that's ultra luxurious, yeah, there will be people that'll buy it. I mean, it may take a little bit of time to get a foothold, but in this country, Nissans and Toyotas and things like that are well-known cars now. In the beginning, they were the laughingstock. I mean, Korean car makers, Hyundais and Kias, they're everywhere now. Remember when Kia first came out, it was a cheap piece of shit. But people bought it because it was a way you could get into getting a vehicle. Cheap, not necessarily reliable in the beginning, but you could get a car. So it depends on how much it's sold for and things like that. Okay, the CIA and federal worker will go postal, says William Eraser. What do you thank you for the super chat? He says, the CIA and federal MIC worker will go postal. Like I said, I can certainly see it. And here's another case. Now, and I'll go to the box after this, but a lot of federal employees that Elon and Trump fired, well, let's just say Elon, because he's the one that's doing it all, but Trump has given him his blessing. A lot of their workers they have fired, courts have mandated that Trump rehire those people back. Now, you've been fired from the federal government. You're pissed off. You're struggling financially, but your union or whatever the case may be wins you your job back. You know while you're working there that Trump and Elon are trying to take their case to the next level, to the higher courts, if not the Supreme Court. They want to fire you. You know that's what they're trying to do. Even though the lower court gave you your job back, you know you're back at work, but it's not secure. That could certainly lead to somebody going postal or sabotage within the department. If they're going to fire my ass, I'm going to take these records home. I'm going to go President Trump and take home these classified documents and keep them. If they're going to fuck with me, so when they fire me this second time, I'm going to sell this shit off, or I'm going to do this, or I can certainly see that happening. Because the people that are being, given their jobs back because the courts are ruling what Trump did was wrong, they know that the Trump administration still wants to fire them. So now they got access to stuff, knowing that their employer does not mean them any good. So I'm surprised nobody has went postal yet. I'm really surprised. Anyway, looking in the comments, is that happening though? Says Kyle Green. We don't know. We do not know. We do know people got fired. The courts ruled that they get their jobs back, and Trump is trying to still go to the higher courts to fire them again. That we know is happening. That's happening to thousands of people right now. So yeah, I could certainly see someone working for a company feeling that, okay, now that the higher courts got it, or now the Supreme Court, they're gonna rule against us. I know we're gonna be fired next week. And I can see people doing shit behind the scenes to sabotage stuff because they know their employer has it in for them. Looking in the box, going back to the box rather, and thank you folks that are tapping the screen. Get the likes up to about 20,000. We can certainly make an effort at that. So tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Stick the ruler. Good evening, Stick. Welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
I'm doing all right.
Okay, and we gonna be all right.
You think so? Do you see any possibility that Trump may lead us into a military conflict with Greenland, Panama, Canada, or even Mexico?
Well, before I even say my answer, I'm just gonna say, for 4 years of his presidency and for 4 years of Biden's presidency, so that's a total of 8 years, and we don't know how long before that. He's been talking to Putin.
Yeah.
He's been chopping it up with Putin. He's been an ally. He's been a friend. And Putin's been telling him, hey, look, man, this is what I did. This is what I see us doing. And right now, Trump is trying to take one hemisphere. Putin is trying to take Europe and anything else that he feels that is Russia's. And then he's going to take all the Asian countries.
But when you say Putin is attempting to take Europe, a lot of NATO member states are involved in that. Can we depend on Trump if Article 5 is kicked in?
No. I already know the answer. No, we can't depend on Trump to do anything for NATO, to stand by NATO. He wants to stand by Putin and whatever he does. I mean, he just told Zelensky, a week or two ago that he started the war, that Zelensky and the Ukrainians started the war. He has said he has tried to embarrass that man and, the press and the vice president, Elon, I mean, they're telling us, I want you to think about this. They're finding fraud and waste in the government by firing people who are doing their jobs. I didn't know doing your job was fraud and waste.
Well, they're claiming that they're not doing their job. They're firing them and giving them letters that are saying that they didn't, their productivity is not there. What are they calling it? They're firing them for performance.
But without a performance
review
evaluation.
Yeah, without review.
Yeah. They. I mean, even in the military, you go through your review. You go sit down. You sit in front of your command, and when it's time for you to be promoted, in some cases, NCOs they go to BNOC. Then when they get up in the higher NCOs, they go to ANOC, and it's schooling. And
but who's gonna? This is why I keep saying that the Trump administration is operating from a mindset of it's better to do something and have to fight your way out of it than ask for permission. Nobody's going to stop him. True enough that he is, a lot of the people they're firing and saying it's for merit or it's for performance, he's firing people way too fast to have evaluate all of them. So we know they're actually not evaluating these people, but who's going to stop him?
Listen, this is the person that's firing people that work at nuclear plants. That right now, if something nuclear was to happen, you need these people, you dumb ass. Like, this is the dude that we dealing with. He don't even know who he's firing. He didn't care about who he pardoned. He just, I don't feel like going through it. Just pardon all of them. 1,500, all pardon.
So if he wasn't willing to do his due diligence, if I can say that right, and go through 1,500 folks in regards to the January 6th pardons, they're firing tens of thousands in the federal government. They're not going through those folks.
So that's my point. And these were his constituents. So at the end of the day, he really didn't care. These were people that went out there and did that for him and his campaign, and strictly not for the actual government, because you got to think about what's going on. You got a person that is government. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is the government.
True.
He is the one that's pulling all the shots and pulling all the strings, and he's got all of the right, licking his boots and his ass and anything else that they, he's got a full Monty in the judicial. He's got him in the Senate.
Your wording is hilarious. But then let me ask you though, with Trump, and you're right, he is obviously government. They are the heads of the government. Why would they want to get rid of so many members of their own team? What do you think the goal? I mean, because they're saying it's waste, fraud, and abuse, but we know they've had to rehire people. So clearly, everybody that they're firing are not part of waste, fraud, and abuse. So why do you believe they're firing so many people so quickly?
Because these are the people who's doing the right thing. The people that he's firing, and a lot of them are Republicans. A lot of them are Trump supporters. A lot of them are Democrats. A lot of them are husbands and wives, and they can't afford just because you feel like this person they know their freedoms in the sense of free speech. Like he had the protester arrested. Now, I want you to think about this, Tim. He was protesting against what was happening in Palestine, and I believe he was one of the people also that was pushing that, we will vote, but it will be like, not, I forgot what it's called. Like, they're not going to vote for Biden, basically.
Okay.
Right? They're going to vote for somebody else or vote third party, whatever. They weren't voting for Biden. Now, mind you, he still was speaking negatively of Trump, too. So now he goes and arrests the man on his free speech. He's became an American citizen. He did this and did that just because he said, "Oh, this is Hamas," and he might try. And man, might ain't a damn crime. There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy charges on him.
Yeah.
They're just saying he might do this and might. And they took that man to Louisiana from where he's from. He's being detained in the ICE detention center because he spoke illy against Trump, and also Trump has put it out there. Didn't you just play it? He want to arrest people, and or he thinks that people speaking illy against him is illegal in some type of way. Yeah,
it does seem like Trump is interested in taking political prisoners. And by the way, folks, I'm trying to figure out for my YouTubers. I hit green screen. I just happen to tap some shit, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. I didn't mean to do that, and I don't want to have to restart the whole live, but I don't know. I hit something on YouTube, but yeah, it does seem like, in regards to what you're saying, that Trump is willing to take political prisoners, which is why we talked about that on live here before. Is there a possibility that YouTubers and content creators that hold programs that do not always speak favorable of Trump, is it possible that you one day could find yourself being, I want to say penalized or disciplined or something by the Trump administration? And I mean, based on how he's talking, I'm not going to say that will happen, but I do feel confident that Trump would favor it happening. The law may prevent him from doing it, but I think if he had his way, he would like for us to be in a country where there is no negative press on him.
The law isn't preventing him from doing it because the man is detained. Purely on he was an activist, purely on he spoke negatively against Donald Trump. So again, he's already doing it. The man's already detained. He's by law. If you're a judge, if you're a lawyer, you know this is wrong. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No matter if he's the president or not, he's broken the law. This is wrong. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
But that's what I said. Congress.
Stand idly.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of right-wing members of Congress all over the cable news outlets. None of them were criticizing Trump for doing that. I mean, just like the guy who was, the guy who was speaking out about Gaza or whatever the case may be, and they said he was, he's a green card holder, but now they're talking about deporting him and all of that. They're holding him with no charges. I mean, nobody's speaking out against it on the right. So that's why I asked you earlier in the live, is like, even if he does do something wrong, can you depend on the Republican Congress to do anything about it?
I mean, no. I mean, you can't. Again, I told you, they butt naked out there for Trump. You know, they don't care. You know, and then they have the caucasity to try to censor my boy Al Green when you got a woman that came out on the floor with naked pictures of the president's son.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, what Al Green did in regards to interrupting the president, he did deserve to be censured for it. But you are correct. If you were okay with Marjorie Taylor Greene showing Hunter Biden's penis, you don't have the high ground. But if what the Democrats, go ahead.
No, listen, Tim. See, and this is why old girl said you was fluffing, right? This is why she said you was fluffing. Listen. Okay, so they said the Democrats, we lost and all of this other stuff. We did, we lost, but they lost too. But if you want to really look at the situation in the sense of win or lose, everybody lost. Nobody won anything. You might have looked at it like y'all won, but you haven't won anything. That's why y'all crying. That's why y'all at these town halls. That's why y'all cussing y'all senators out, telling them y'all didn't vote for this stuff. And you can say all day, oh no, those are Democrats that show up to town hall. Lies.
No, they're not paid protesters as Democrats. A lot of them folks are disgruntled MAGA, disgruntled Republicans. But I'm not fluffing when I say what Al Green did, which was interrupting the president, was worthy of censure. I disagree with you on that. I'm just simply saying that the Republicans do not hold the moral high ground when they ignored Marjorie Taylor Greene showing Hunter Biden's dick, or Lorena Bobart or whatever her name is doing all the stuff she did. So if you were okay with her doing that stuff, you can't speak out against Al Green. But for folks who may have not been in Congress,
You lied. Remember that?
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
So, and said nothing. So again, that's the office. That's somebody. That's another president. It's just not Trump. And y'all did all of that, man. And it's like, if you can't see the hypocrisy, you're blind as hell.
Well, I will. Here's where you're gonna call. You're gonna certainly say I'm fluffing. I'm going to give the Republicans a little bit credit, because when you're talking about you lying and all that, all the Republicans that are in Congress now were not in it back then. Because every 2 years they're flipping all over the place. So even when Marjorie Taylor Greene showed Hunter Biden's penis, there's going to be a lot of Congress people there.
But the ideology was always there. Yeah. See, that it's not about the people itself. It's their ideology has been there, since maybe I would say it flipped around the 50s, 60s, around that time. That's when the Democratic Party is talking about civil rights and doing this and doing that, versus the Republicans.
Yeah, the party switch. The party switch. And a lot of folks on the right don't admit that party switch happened, but yeah, the party switch.
Well, I believe somebody that was there and alive during that time, like Martin Luther King, that was actually in political elbows. He was rubbing political elbows because of the things that he was doing and had going on. And the Republican Party, as he said, was being taken over by the white T-man. Yeah. So it is what it is.
I would just say I do have to move it on, but I would just say any historian you talk to is going to tell you the party switch happened. Just like a lot of folks will swear up and down the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. If you talk to any historian, they'll clear that up real quick, because it's all throughout the documents of why these states were fighting, and when they were joining the Union, the abolitionist states were. They were saying what they were fighting for. It's part of all sorts of documents. So yeah, it's part of history. But people do not want necessarily for that history to be repeated, so they kind of make up their own narrative. But I do got to move it on, man.
Well, I'll tell you this, Tim, to just end it like this. Just like I said in the beginning, I believe Trump want the Americas. He don't want just North America in the sense of just the United States and its providences. He wants the whole hemisphere, and that's including North America.
Let me ask you this: as much as we may not want him to fuck with Canada, if he did make Canada the 51st state, would that not make America a much greater country, a much more powerful country?
Depending on which means it happens. If it happens because Canada wants to join the U.S., then that's different. But if Canada don't want to join and you sitting up here trying to say, well, I'm gonna just tariff the shit out you just to make you join. Like, and it's a good now. This is the thing. I don't give Trump really any credit. The only credit that I'll give in the idea of let's all come together and combine, and we will be a power force. But he wants to be in the lead of it so bad. He wants to do everybody.
He's trying to defend his legacy. He's trying to defend his legacy. That's what presidents do.
Yeah, but you don't defend your legacy by trying to force people to do something that you want them to do. What the hell you think
the Soviet Union was? When they forced those countries, and was Russia not a much more powerful country when they were at the height of the Soviet Union?
Listen, if he went back and detracted everything that he said and told those people, look, I got this idea. If y'all become part of us, y'all don't have to pay any tariffs. Y'all don't have to pay any of these fees and taxes and all of that because y'all will be us.
He said
we can combine ourselves together. But what I'm saying is he's not saying it in the sense of let's do it together. He's in the sense of this is what I want to do. I don't care if you want to do it or not. Give me that shit. And if you don't give it to me,
if they become the 51st state, yeah, but if they become the 51st state, regardless of his rhetoric, if they become the 51st state, we are doing it together. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, as he stated, they would be likely one of the most powerful states in the union. He said that. Trump said that.
And I said it again, Tim. If they join on their own, that'd be different. It would be okay. It would be great. But forcing a hand, that's not great, Tim. No matter how you put it, no matter how you shape it, because if we take that just like they took it from the indigenous, then we ain't no better, Tim. And if we agree with it, we ain't no better. Yeah. So again,
well, as Trump once said, we're going to help women out whether they like it or not. So maybe that's the way he's looking at Canada. We're going to make them great again whether they like it or not. I got to move it on, man.
Sound like a rapist to me.
Huh?
All right, Tim. It sound like a rapist to me. He just gonna grape the country.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it on the hush. Appreciate it.
What are they like?
All right. Oh shit! I just appreciate you coming through. I hit the end button by mistake because I got a technical problem over here. I want to read a couple super chats off of YouTube, and what I'm gonna end up having to do is reset my YouTube and come right back on because I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get rid of this damn green screen. So bear with me for a moment, folks, while I read these super chats and then real quickly reset the live on YouTube because I've lost all of my, and it's not YouTube. If you're on YouTube horizontal, what I'm tapping in now, you don't have to worry. This is YouTube vertical. What I've been trying to figure out from day one is how to mirror the screen like you can on TikTok because all of the wording is backwards always on YouTube when I'm doing this. I hit something and it just fucked everything up. Real quick to respond to the super chat. Did you see, I'm going to have to use my spectacles. Did you see Trump get a mic forced on his chin? No, I did not. Before he wanted to do it on the campaign, now he got violated. I do not know what you're talking about. Well, I did not see that. A mic forced on his chin? No. MAGA was actually foaming at the mouth for the longest time for the first Democrat to object and protest. MAGA is toxic. Damn. It's First Amendment for me and not for thee. That is true. I do believe that Trump himself is not a big fan of free speech. I just right now there's not. I don't have as much evidence because he hasn't. Well, I mean, you got the protester that's been detained, but there's not a lot of solid proof where he has acted on trying to take away people's First Amendment rights. But the wording coming out of his mouth shows he's not a big fan of people who do not like him having free speech rights. I do believe that. Okay, so real quick on YouTube, I'm going to reset this, so I appreciate you folks if you just simply hang on 1 second and I'll continue on with the show in probably less than 30 seconds. So let me cancel this stream and restart it because